What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam. This is Vancity Audi. We're back at the one and only Rider Performance. It has been too damn long since I've been here. The season ended at the racetrack and I headed to Racing Green to do a bunch of dyno testing. I hope you guys enjoyed those videos, but we're back to try to make more freaking power. Today we're strapping on this beautiful TTE810 hybrid turbo from the Turbo Engineers. We've had some fun with the TTE710, but we're calling it quits with this one, and we're gonna step it up a notch with this. We are going to be continuing with integrated engineering software. That's their stage 3+ files on E70. I switched the car back to E70 for, I guess, 1 tank of gas just to get it going again. We are gonna see how it runs with this turbo now. We'll get some data logs. We'll get back on the dyno to see how much power it makes and to see if the issues I was having to get the peak performance out of the TTE710 are still there, or if it's fixed the problem running this 810 hybrid turbo. So for this video, it's gonna be a simple install, uninstall. We're not gonna show the whole thing. If you guys are interested in what it looks like to do the whole thing from start to finish, we've already shot a video here when we removed the stock turbo and we put the TTE710 in. So I will put a link in the description below. You can check out that video if you'd like to see that as well. But for this one, it's gonna be primarily comparing the turbos side by side. I'll flash the car, we'll get that going. And then once it's warmed up tomorrow, it's a little too cold here to go out and go do some data logging, so we'll save that for tomorrow. But for right now, let's get to the uninstall. I'll just get little snippets here and there of Kyle doing the work, and then we'll compare the turbos side by side. So this is what my engine bay currently looks like with the IE setup, air intake, turbo inlet, got a turbo smart diverter or blow off valve in my case. It goes makes stupid noises when we let off the gas on the dyno. Besides that, we got the CTS turbo charge pipe, the IE downpipe, the IE mid pipes, and then this beautiful TTE710 hybrid turbo. So I'll let Kyle get to work. We'll uninstall this, we'll take it out of the car, and then we'll put it on the bench over there and compare it to the 810. So during this uninstall, Kyle and I got to talking, and we were talking about the issues that I was seeing with the TTE710 or the calibration or the valve flow, or whatever the hell it might have been. We still don't know to this day, but we were talking about the back pressure and what we think could possibly have caused more back pressure. What if, now small percentage, but what if the downpipe, the catted downpipe had melted? Now, you haven't seen too many failures with these IE catted downpipes, but I have seen catted downpipes, I think I've said that like 30 times in the last 2 seconds, that they've melted and it's caused more back pressure because the airflow isn't significant enough anymore. So we're just about to get to it now. I'll get you a shot of this, and while he opens it up, we're gonna see if any of that catalytic converter has melted and prevented the exhaust gases from going through and it's causing more back pressure. Kyle's got the turbo loose, and now he's gonna be pulling it off, and we're gonna take a look, an up close and personal look at this cat, and hope that it is not melted and destroyed and still in one piece. There he goes, 710, a little toasty. Kyle with his man hands, making sure he can get it out. All right, let's take an up close look. Okay, so as a whole, it looks pretty good, except I see something. That is definitely not the way it's supposed to look. As a whole, though, it's not melted and destroyed like I was worried about, so I don't think it's causing more back pressure, but I'm definitely gonna need to contact Integrated Engineering and ask about that. So now that Kyle has uninstalled the TTE710, which is right here, we have put it side by side with the brand new TTE810. Now you may be looking at these and saying, how the hell can you tell them apart? Pretty much impossible from the cold side. They both have a 66 mil compressor wheel, both have the same OEM wastegate actuator. They look identical, but from the hot side is where they are a little different. Now I've turned the turbos around to their hot side. Here's the 710 and its turbine. And here's the 810 and its turbine. You can see that it's slightly larger than the 710. Now, from my discussions with IE, they've told me that this is going to help evacuate exhaust gas better, meaning there's going to be less back pressure. So even though we're gonna get more boost out of this, it's going to make less back pressure than this. At least in theory, that's what they're telling me. So besides that, the only other difference we can see is on the back plate. Where did it go? backplate. There we go. It says TTE710. And over here, we have the TTE810. I'm pretty sure those are the only differences in these turbos. Not too sure anything else. You can see a little bit of the discoloration. That's simply because of the heat cycles that have been through it and heat that up and changed its colors. But that's pretty much the only difference that we see between the 810 and the 710. They're two things of beauty. Let's hand it over to Kyle and let him complete the install. So here's the last look at that downpipe. I'm most certainly going to be reaching out to IE to get this warranted. It's definitely not supposed to look like that, and it did not when we installed it. Maybe from too much heat going through it, or I don't know, maybe a manufacturing defect. But we're gonna get the turbo installed, and along the way, we'll get that warranted, and then we'll replace it when the time comes. Kyle has completed the install of the TTE810, looking great. I wish it could stay this color. The silver on silver looks awesome, rather than when it gets all heated up and starts turning yellow. Now that it's done, we gotta flash the car over using Integrated Engineering's PowerLink software and tune it to the TTE810 E70 file. Now which file to load for the Stage 3 Plus TTE810? Do I go with the E70 RS Injectors version 1.0 or the E70 RS Injectors Plus APR Pump 1.2? I have an APR pump, so that's the one I'm going to want to go with. I hit next, we go over and I hit flash. From flash, it's going to come up with the flash requirements. This is a list that IE provides customers to remind them yet again, you need all of this hardware to make this tune run. They recommend an intake and an intercooler for optimal performance. I strongly suggest you do not flash this without those parts installed. And finally, you have to reconfirm that you want to purchase this. It does not cost any additional credits if you already have the TTE 710 files purchased, and I already have been running the 710, so it didn't cost me anything more. Car's tuned up successfully. Let's give it its first start. Make sure this thing turns over with ease. Oh, hell yeah. Ready to rock with the TTE810. Good stuff. Now with any turbo install, you're gonna spill a bit of oil, you're gonna spill a little bit of coolant. Because of that, you might get some steam, some smoke coming off, and some funky smells. Not the end of the world, happens every bloody time. We rinsed it off a little, so there's a bit of water residue as well. Just needs to cook itself off and will on the drive home, most likely. Just wanted to let you guys know, not to worry too much if you see a little bit of smoke and steam coming off. Thank you to Kyle for another successful install here at Ryder Performance. We're just letting the car idle for a bit to cook off a bit more of that steam, to get rid of it so I'm not smelling it the whole way home. But now what? Usually I would go out and I'd log the car immediately after an install, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But for the sake of what we're doing this time around, it's too late, it's too dark, it's too cold. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow, and with any luck, those logs will look a hell of a lot better than they did with my 710. Now, if they didn't, I'll be reporting back to Integrated Engineering, and we'll see what's up, and we'll see if any changes need to be made. Because, as I've stated from the get-go, I'm doing this for everyone's benefit. The goal is to try to make these universal, off-the-shelf canned tunes work as well as they can for everyone and not just for me. That's why I use the same files as everybody else, so I can showcase what you guys are able to do with the things that are publicly available and not one-off custom tunes. Not saying that's wrong for people that want to use those tunes, I just don't choose to do that on this channel thus far. I've stuck with off-the-shelf on all the vehicles that I've owned and all the vehicles that I've showcased. So for the next little while, if everything goes well, I will be back at the dyno, back at Racing Greed to see how much power we can make with this. The TTE710, we didn't get to see the full peak potential because of the issues we were having on the dyno, and what we were seeing, that wavy power band from about 5,500 RPM to redline. With any luck, we are going to experience less back pressure with this turbo, with that larger turbine, and I won't suffer from valve float. At least that's what I've been told, and that's what I'm really hoping. So stay tuned to the channel for that, guys, and until then, take care.